More to being a Buffalo Bills fan than breaking tables. Welcome to the More Than Breaking Tables podcast, a show about what really makes up the greatest fan base in the NFL. We're talking football with experts and fans from around the country. Here's your host and proud member of Bills Mafia, Connor Kobus.
Hello and welcome to a special holiday edition of More Than Breaking Tables. We are coming live to you here on a Tuesday night as we get ready for Thanksgiving for all of our families. We're going to talk about a tough Bills loss on the road last week against the Texans, going into what some are considering a must-win game against the Steelers. Thanksgiving right around the corner. I have a special guest with me in addition to my host Pasquale, which is Tyler Maston. Tyler, thanks for joining the show.
Hey guys, thanks. Happy to be on with you today.
Well, Tyler, really appreciate your time and your dedication to our mission.
Yes, many people might not know this, but Tyler was one of the first followers of the More Than Breaking Tables podcast with our debut episode back in August. So I figured we'd have to get him on the show. I chop it up with him at the office all the time. He's got some great insight. We're going to get into a lot of that topics today. But I'd like to start off by saying, since we are in the mode of Thanksgiving, I'm very thankful for these two guys here on the podcast with me. You guys are great, but I'm more of a Christmas guy, and I did splurge and get you each Christmas gifts already. Can I tell you what it is?
Go for it.
I like surprises, but
I'm going to tell you. I'm too excited. Got you both Brandon Cooks jerseys. Let's go.
Yes, thank you.
All right, are we excited? Okay, good.
I am.
I didn't know the sizes, so I got XLs. Figured you could wear them to playoff games in the winter.
Give me any retread receiver. I'll take it all.
I'll put it right next to my Kelvin Benjamin and my Sammy Watkins. We're trying to complete the whole 2014 draft class there.
So coming off the loss against the Texans, I went to Southern Tier to watch the game, which is a great atmosphere. They played a shout song after touchdowns. There was a big crowd there. Josh Allen was running for his life. The offensive line got bitched by Houston's D-line, which is the best defense in the league. A lot of plays that left your head scratching a little bit. Tyler, I'm going to kick it off to you. Watching that game, what did you see as the biggest holes in the Bills' game plan that ultimately led to them losing the game?
Yeah, I mean, more of the same, Connor, except for this week. What I usually like to think of is having one of the best offensive lines in front of Josh Allen protecting him. We just weren't able to get the job done in protection. But in terms of predictability and the game plan, I was a little disappointed coming off of the Tampa Bay game. I thought we had figured some things out. But really, it didn't seem like Joe Brady really mixed things up too much and kept it predictable. It seemed like we were in a lot of basic pass protections, which, as you mentioned, the pass rush from Houston was a little bit much for that, and then didn't really help a whole lot with Spencer Brown going down and Deion Dawkins really having one of the worst games I've seen from him in my time as a Bills fan. Usually he's really reliable over there, and those two guys on the ends were really challenged by the pass rush of Houston. So I think it was more of the play call and mixing things up and going on with the fluidity of the offensive coordinator, but pretty disappointing after coming off of a hot week, scoring 44 points at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And two plays that really stuck out to me, two momentum shifts in the game that I thought were huge. The simple missed extra point that Prater had after our first touchdown, we were chasing that throughout the second half the entire time when the game could have went differently. And Pasquale, I'm going to kick it to you. Ray Davis had that unbelievable kick return for a touchdown. And what did the Bills do? They give up a touchdown right before the half to Davis Mills. I thought that was tough defense to give up a touchdown right before the half. What did you think about that whole final 2 minutes of the game?
Yeah, the special teams has shown up the last couple weeks, and the Bills' defense let them down. Not going to put the entire loss on the shoulders of the defense, which we'll probably get into, but I think this is more of an offensive problem. We saw Josh Allen on the sidelines. We named this live stream "What's Going On," and that was the biggest thing that I took away from the game. Certainly, we can go into a little more deep details as we go around the horn here, but I'm not going to put the whole blame on the defense, but that was a bad kind of little trade-off there when you get the special teams touchdown and give one right back. That's not good.
Yeah, definitely. We could have went into the, even if you hold them to a field goal there, it's 16-16 at half, you get the ball back. This game kind of reminded me a lot of the Atlanta game. The defense was nowhere to be found in the first half, but then in the second half, I don't know what McDermott does in the locker room with adjustments, but they completely shut down the Texans in the second half. To your point, Pasquale, the offense had opportunities to get us the lead, to put us in position. They just weren't able to do so.
Yeah, opportunities all throughout the game. Like Ty had mentioned, the offensive line really did let Josh down, but I think Josh let himself down a lot too, holding on the ball for too long, knowing what he was facing on the other side. I heard like hype all week about how strong the Texans defense was, how fast they were, how quick they were, and they definitely showed up and proved that.
Definitely. And another tidbit that I saw today, I was talking to Tyler in the office. D'Amico Ryans, the head coach of the Texans, was being interviewed, and he was talking about playing Buffalo's offense and what he was doing. And he said Joe Brady wasn't really switching things up. His strategy was just let Josh Allen be great, and he's going to win those battles. Clearly, that didn't happen. And Tyler, it kind of goes to your point. We need to switch up the offense and the game plan a little bit, throw some wrinkles in there if we're going to go toe-to-toe with some of the better defenses.
Yeah, I think, throughout the year, we've had a really good rushing game. And outside of some inopportune rushing attempts, we kind of got away from that on Thursday night. James Cook had a pretty good start to the game, but then when it comes out to, fourth down and 1, we want to line him up 5 yards backfield and hand the ball off to him. I just don't know that was the right time to get the running game going. And then obviously Khalil Shakir turned out to be a great game, but I just don't know that we're using the other wide receiver targets that we have, albeit who knows how good they are. So I just think there's some wrinkles that need to be thrown in there. We see a lot of the same things in the same situations, and then just some questionable calls in the really important down and distances when maybe we really should just put the ball in Josh's hands and let him get the first down.
Definitely. And if we look at the standings right now, guys, Bills are at 7-4. We are in the 7th seed. We're going to Pittsburgh to play a tough road game. We've seen the Steelers beat the Colts in their building, which was the cause of many turnovers. So taking care of the football is definitely going to be a big deal. We have 6 games left. Pasquale, we've seen this team make runs in the later half of the season. I believe the Bills' record going into the last week of November and December for the last 5 years is 27-5. Do you think we can get hot and go on a run here? It's going to be tough, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I keep confusing the schedule because I'm looking at these games out of order. But as you mentioned, Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, I'm hoping to be there for that game. Looking forward to that. I just want to mention, I'm not one of those guys that will blame the referees or blame injuries for our woes, but at the rate that these injuries are creeping up on us and they continue to come, Dalton Kincaid, a couple other high-profile players were out for Thursday's game. We'll see what this week has in store for the Steelers. I know a couple other players have already been ruled out, but, we talked about this early on in the season, the primetime games, the switching times of games around, and I believe it's finally starting to catch up to this team, not to mention, making deep runs in the playoffs the last few years. And once again, I don't want to use that as an excuse, but as well paid as these gentlemen are, they are still human beings, and, we might see the human element taking over the Buffalo Bills, but like you said, I do get off track a little bit. So speaking for the rest of the schedule, I expect them to win against Pittsburgh. Let's get a victory the following week, 2 against the Bengals at home. That's going to be a tough one. Then the Patriots game, that's the one you got to circle on the calendar. That's the most important game. Talking about the Browns, we'll see if the Eagles implode by week 17, and then you finish off against the Jets. So you could really make a dent. You can I just don't know what is up with these coordinators at this point. I have to have more faith in them before I can say we can go on a sustained run and finish with 4 more wins.
You're right, and we got into it on one of our other episodes. What does Bobby Babich do? Is he ordering food for the team in meetings? Like, is he helping call the plays with McDermott? But clearly our first half defense is rough. I want to kind of talk and put it out to both of you. We're 7-4. We do have a rematch with the Patriots. We've seen the Bills come back from a 3-game deficit in the division to win it. Are we still keeping hope alive? Personally, I am. What do you guys think? Are you writing it off? Has the Patriots had too easy of a schedule and it's going to be too hard to catch them?
Ty.
I'm a Bills fan. I think we can run the table. I've seen crazier things happen than us come back from this type of deficit in even the AFC East. And I certainly think that what we're looking at versus what the Patriots are looking at is pretty similar. But at this point, and it's kind of crazy to say, the Bills have more experience of getting it done when it counts. And that gives me hope. And I'm not saying that it's a sure thing, but I think it's still at this point in the betting markets, the Bills are a higher likelihood to win the Super Bowl, and I think that just reflects the faith of the fan or of the bettors in the Bills versus the Patriots. So let's see them win some games when it counts, and let's just have Josh Allen come out and do what he's been doing for the last 10 years for us.
Absolutely. And it's going to be interesting with the Patriots. Maybe we get some Monday Night Magic against the Giants with Jameis Winston. Could come up with an upset, but the Patriots have to play us again. They have to play the Ravens again, and they finish up with 2 division games. I've watched some of their games. I caught the game against the Bengals. You know, they're getting it done, so you have to tip your cap to them, but it's a whole different game when you get into the playoffs. Do you think, Pasquale, a lot of hype around the Patriots is real, or do you think that they're a one and done come playoff time?
I go back and forth about this whole Patriots situation because I had high expectations for them coming in to this season. I thought for sure they would challenge the Bills, at least for the second spot in the division, finish in the second spot, I should say, in the AFC East. And they've exceeded those expectations. They beat us. And I think that the hype is real, but I mean, once it gets to the playoffs, that's a whole different ball game. We talked about this previous weeks. People want to write off the Chiefs whenever they lose a game, but if you're putting the Chiefs up against the Patriots in the wild card round, I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'm taking
7
the Chiefs.
days a week, twice on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. They talk about how the wild card could be scarier than it's ever been in the AFC this year. You could potentially have Kansas City, Buffalo, maybe Baltimore if they don't win the division or something breaks. But a lot of these up-and-coming teams, the Colts have a very tough schedule. They start out strong. They might struggle to make the playoffs. They have to go up against the Texans twice, the Jags twice, the 49ers. We saw that game in Kansas City. The Chiefs came back to keep their season alive. As we shift the scene to Thanksgiving Day football, which is what it's all about, family, food, and football, which game on the slate has you most interested that you're going to be tuned into?
Ty, you can lead it off.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to see America's team versus America's team? The Chiefs and the Cowboys, right? We got the Chiefs fans have kind of, come out of the woodwork as they've been so successful over the past several years. And then we got the Cowboys, who's everyone's parents' favorite team. I think that's going to be, it's right after dinner or right around dinner time. I think it's what everyone's going to be looking forward to while they're getting ready for dinner on Thanksgiving Day. And I'm obviously looking for a Cowboys win, which isn't always the case. I was talking to Connor earlier today. I'm kind of enjoying watching the Cowboys play more this year than in past years. But why not just keep watching Kansas City lose? I mean, it was a really tough game for them this past weekend, and I thought Indianapolis might be able to pull it off and brought them to overtime. But I think that's going to be the game that I'm looking forward to the most on Thanksgiving.
What about you, Pasquale? We got the Packers and Lions kicking off at 1 o'clock. The Chiefs game could be one of the most watched regular season games in NFL history. And the nightcap, Joe Burrow's coming back for the Bengals against the Ravens. So which one would you most want to watch if you could set aside time?
Yeah, good day from top to bottom, but I'm definitely with Ty when it comes to we're talking about Cowboys versus Chiefs. I mean, that 1 o'clock game, I got to get used to not saying the 12:30 game. That 1 o'clock game, you got those traditional uniforms, that rivalry. That's going to be a good game, but I think, yeah, definitely Dallas and Kansas City. I'll check in on the Ravens and Bengals game, but usually at that point, I'm like, I'm done with football for the day. I can handle 2 games. 3 might be a little bit too much unless the Bills are playing in that 8 o'clock slot. So I'll kind of check in, but that could really alter a lot when it comes to the AFC North and really lock it up for the Ravens. They get a win. The Bills beat the Steelers on Sunday. Steelers are really looking up high at the Ravens, and as inconsistent as the Bills have been, so have the Steelers. So, we'll see how that plays out, but it looks like the Ravens pretty much have a lock on that division now. I hate to say that because I cannot stand the Ravens. I don't like their coach. I don't like their quarterback. I don't like their fans. But, you got to be realistic at a certain point in time, and it looks like they got that division locked down.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see how it's going to matriculate out. Steelers and Ravens both have to play each other 2 more times. They haven't even met this year. So a lot has to be seen. Do we miss the Bills being on Thanksgiving, guys? I personally don't. I don't want to stress out during Thanksgiving. We played the Lions a couple times, or the Lions one time, the Saints at night. I prefer to watch other teams play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I
for
do
sure.
think I tend to agree with both of you on not missing them on Thanksgiving, but that Bills Cowboys game
The Cowboys
on Thanksgiving was indeed one of the best Bills games that I remember in my fanhood. I just wanted to also mention, isn't it great to see the Lions on Thanksgiving when they're a good, relevant team that is quite likable in my opinion. It's a little refreshing. I know growing up we'd always see the Lions on Thanksgiving, and it was kind of like a laughing stock, if you will. But it's really nice to have the Lions come out and actually be something worth watching. And then the Packers this year relevant as well. So that should be a good game to kick things off.
Yeah, the Packers are another team similar to the Bills and the Steelers with being just totally inconsistent and all over the place. We'll see how that plays out with that game.
Yeah, definitely. And it was funny. Joe Burrow was getting interviewed today because he's coming back for the Bengals about Thanksgiving memories. And he's like, usually get together with family, watch Matt Stafford for the Lions, throw it up to Calvin Johnson, and then watch the Lions lose, which is Detroit, what they've been for a while. But now Dan Campbell and that whole team has done a shift over. And that's going to be a great game to kick things off on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock, not 12:30. 1 o'clock.
The earlier the better. I would like it to be at 12.
I like the 12:30 slot. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we gotta have the right breakup. So Thanksgiving, we're gonna be watching food. We're gonna be watching football, eating food. When we get into the debate of best pies on Thanksgiving, Pasquale, what is that for you? What does that look like?
That's the pumpkin, for sure.
Pumpkin. Tyler, what's your best pie?
Connor, I told you to prep me with some questions before this, and you didn't. So now you're putting me on the spot. But I think some apple pie, a la mode, a little ice cream, and then a little family tradition. I'm not sure if you guys do it. Some cheddar cheese with the apple pie as well. It's a great combo.
I've
My
heard of it,
grandpa
never did it.
my grandpa used to say apple pie without some cheese is like a hug without a squeeze, and so I think you know in his name, I would have to go with the apple pie and a little slice of cheddar cheese with some ice cream.
Yeah, I think those are 2 great options. Those are my top 2, apple pie and pumpkin pie. The best part is dessert. And after we celebrate Thanksgiving, the Bills are going to make that trip to Pittsburgh. Pasquale, you mentioned you're potentially going to the game. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's going to be playing, Mike Tomlin says. 2 inconsistent teams. Pittsburgh has the home field advantage. The Bills are coming off a tough loss with a little bit of extra rest. Who do you give the advantage to in this big pivotal AFC game?
I got to give it to the home team still. I mean, you got Rodgers coming back. They still got a tough defense, so home field advantage. I don't think it's going to be a situation like a Miami game where it's going to be, 70-30 Bills fans to Dolphins fans. We're going to probably be looking at maybe 60-40 Steelers to Bills fans. I'm sure a lot of Bills fans will go down there, but still, the Steelers fans are a dedicated fan base. They travel really well, so they're not a bunch of like phonies or frauds. Like, again, Dolphins fans, like Jaguars fans, and mention any other team that, sell their tickets to other teams and come in their home stadium and cheer against their home team. So I think it'll be I'm looking forward to it. I want to see Aaron Rodgers play one more time live and in living color. So really pumped about this game, and hopefully I can find tickets for a decent amount of money.
Yeah, and I mean the Steelers defense, they have some game wreckers. TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward on the D line. Protecting Josh Allen is going to have to be key. But if you can do that, this Pittsburgh pass defense is one of the worst in the NFL. They're consistently they've given up 4 or 5 games with 30 points or more given up, and we know when the Bills' offense can be clicking, they have the potential to put up those points. Tyler, we talked about Joe Brady against the Texans and what he needed to do. How do you want to see him handle the offense against the Steelers? Is it more James Cook? Do you want to see more vertical passing game? What are your thoughts?
I think we need to protect Josh Allen, and with Spencer Brown going down, I think Vandermark's sliding in there at that tackle spot, and if we can protect Josh Allen and in the same way get to Aaron Rodgers early. I know Aaron Rodgers is nursing an injury. I think that we can have a good chance. We have Brandon Cooks. I don't know if he's going to be starting this week. It's left to be decided. I don't know if that means Keon Coleman's going to be on the bench again, but I do think we need to try to get the ball vertical, put something on tape, and if we can at least. I was talking to someone a couple weeks ago saying maybe take 4 or 5 of those vertical shots a game. You're going to eventually hit on them, but if you're only taking 1 vertical shot a game, you're putting yourself in a bad position for the odds game. So I think we need to get vertical, protect Josh Allen, and then let James Cook do what James Cook's been doing all season when we've been successful in running the ball. Now, are there some things that Joe Brady does that can help us against the blitz, like the screen plays and whatnot? Yeah, sure. But I don't want to see those as the bread and butter, right? I want to see those as a change of pace. And so maybe we need to just use those. I know we practice them a lot. Use those to kind of break things up and keep the defense honest. But as you were saying with Houston, being predictable in our play calling is not going to be helpful against TJ Watt and Cam Hayward.
Definitely going to have to get the ball out very quickly. Pasquale, one player Tyler mentioned was Keon Coleman. He's been a healthy scratch the last 2 games. One guy that's very much in his corner is Andre Reed, a Bills alum, saying keep giving this guy a chance. He's going to turn it around, but he's missing meetings, doesn't seem to be taking things seriously. Do you think if he gets his back to playing some meaningful snaps, you're going to see any difference in him as a playmaker, or do you think he's going to follow a Zay Jones type of trajectory with the Bills?
I could have stopped you 5 minutes ago. I am done with Keon Coleman. He is dead to me.
Okay. Tyler, are you giving him a second chance?
I think I was the one, Connor, who first made the Zay Jones comparison, as far as I know. But I'm hoping that he's not. And he's not dead to me, but I'm trending that way. I think he should continue to get chances this year. Brandon Beane came on one of the morning shows earlier this year and pounded his chest about this not being fantasy football. Well, it's time for his draft picks to come out and do something and make a difference. And Keon Coleman has, 6 games left to do so. If we don't get anything from him by the end of this season, it might be time to move on. And I don't think going into next year, there's going to be much room for him if he doesn't by the end of this season. So I think it might be coming time for make or break from Keon Coleman. And if we can't see anything, we got to give him some chances to at least show us something by now and the end of the season. And if he doesn't, time to move on.
And
Yeah, we're running, in my opinion, we're running a football team here, not a daycare center. I've already had my fill of wide receivers that didn't know how to behave over the years, and we don't need this here. We have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Let's get rid of him, get somebody else in that can I don't care. Just I'm done with him. I don't want to deal with it.
Is it a daycare center or a retirement home? We just brought in Brandon Cooks.
I think it's a combination of both. Like one wing
Yeah.
can be the daycare center. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Speaking of additions to Bills, another former face that Brandon Beane signs, as we know he loves to do, bringing back former players, Shaq Lawson, which is going to be his third stint with the team. It's kind of getting comical on social media with people saying who's going to be next after that. Is it Cole Beasley? Is it somebody? There was one guy, I forget, he was a wide receiver, and someone was like, he's from like 8 years
Hodgins
ago.
Or
Not
Isaiah
Hodgins, Duke Williams.
Oh yeah.
Duke Williams. It's like, does Bean just like take a vacation in the off season and then it's like, oh shit, the season started. Who can I hit up for some reinforcements? It's like, I feel like all these position needs, injuries are one thing, but I don't know, man. I think going into this off season, whether you win the Super Bowl or not, the Patriots are here to stay. So I feel like we have to be very aggressive this offseason in how we improve this football team.
We brought back Jordan Phillips. I think that was I wasn't too optimistic about it, but he's made a little bit of an impact on the field. Not that I want that to be our bread and butter, but I think that wasn't a terrible pickup from the Bean MO. But yeah, I'm not on the Shaq Lawson train, not one bit.
Is he dead to you, Pasquale?
No, he's fine with me. But yeah, there's definitely got to be a reevaluation of this whole roster in the offseason. They're obviously going to have limited flexibility because of the salary cap, but a lot of decisions need to be made. You and I are Mets fans. We saw the Mets just moved on from Brandon Nimmo. Maybe we have to move on from one of these higher profile players to make some other moves and move some things around, get bigger on the defense and, get faster at wide receiver. But, these things really need to be talked about.
Absolutely, and we're going to have to see how the rest of the season unfolds with that. It's been a very good episode. Tyler, thanks so much for joining us. Would love to pass it to you to plug any potential Instagram accounts you have with chicken wings that you want people to follow, and then I'll pass it to Pasquale.
Yeah, you can follow my chicken wing account. It's 10 Hot on Instagram. I essentially just give my review on 10 Hot wing orders, and I do need
What's
to
your
keep
handle?
up with that. It's just 10 Hot. Number 10, HOT.
Got it.
He tries
Yep,
hot
and-
wings. He tries cold wings at Adolph's, whatever the temperature.
Yeah.
He's going to try them.
Adolphs are still my number one. Unfortunately, I had a not great experience there last time, but they made it right by bringing me out more wings. But I do have to, get back up to speed with that account. Got it off the ground, and I think it's fun. I know there's tons of wing review accounts around, but this one definitely just kind of rates them all on the same scale of the 10 Hot Buffalo wings, what everyone's probably going to be ordering when they go out for wings. So,
And don't expect to see any blue cheese in those wing orders because Tyler, not a blue cheese guy. Shocking.
not a ranch guy either, though.
Yeah,
they
Pasquale,
already
are
have
you blue
sauce on
cheese
them.
guy?
I am huge.
I'm huge blue cheese. Huge.
Wings already have sauce on them,
Stop.
so I don't need two sauces.
All right, Pasquale, any shows that you want to promote, talk about before we get off the air?
Yeah, I just want to thank the fans that came out this Sunday for the Lumber City Rumble in North Tonawanda. Great turnout. Thanks to those fans that brought non-perishable food donations, and it was a great time to be had by all. I forgot to mention this on last week's program. Want to send a special thank you to 3G Signs and Graphics in the town of Tonawanda, Amherst area. They helped me out with some tickets and event posters for that event. So I'll post their link down in the description, in the comments on Facebook. Give them a shout out, give them some support. They're a great locally owned business. They help me out with a lot of things, and you can see where to find me on Instagram below. I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. I had a job interview today and I had physical therapy. I'm a mess.
Did you wait? Hold on. Did you get the job?
I probably will, but it was an hour-long interview, and then I had physical therapy right after.
That's
So all kinds of
exhausting.
messed up today.
Actually, listen, me and Tyler both work for a really good company. You should come work with us.
I'm not leaving my company. I'm going internally.
We get free Sabres tickets and Bills tickets.
I get free Sabres tickets. I get the same, and I'm fine.
Okay, well, the offer's still out there. I'll maybe get you an interview. I'm Connor Kobus. You can follow me at Connor Kobus17 on Instagram. These are the three amigos. The Bills are winning on Sunday. We are making a run. Thank you for listening, and always go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.